I gotta be honest with you guys, I never actually pictured myself watching this specific anime. Rent-A-Girlfriend was always one of those anime that I knew existed and kinda just scrolled past whenever I was scrolling through recommended anime through Crunchyroll or any other website, because quite frankly, it just didn't seem all that interesting. I've seen funny clips on YouTube and other things of that context to the head-ass main character that we are presented with, but it never interested me until now. All in all, I won't bullshit you guys. Rent-A-Girlfriend is not all that entertaining.
Who is it?
Package for you.
Hello.
Please help me out here! Even just for 10 seconds!
In 10 seconds, I'm calling the cops on you!
Outside of comedy, and outside of the fact that the main character is just a total dweeb with some somewhat redeeming qualities, it just makes up for a better story in the aspect that it's just watchable. Season 1 is where Rent-A-Girlfriend really shines, but Season 2 is where the story is starting to somewhat fall off. We are still waiting for the arrival of Season 3, but in the aspect of a general story and how quickly you will be bored of said story, I generally only watch Season 1 and wait for Season 3. Because Season 2 leaves you unsatisfied, kinda bored, and it's a rinse repeat from Season 1, just done in a worse way, so to speak. If you guys haven't watched Rent-A-Girlfriend past this point, then I definitely encourage you to watch Season 1 and then come back to the video for the full review if you would like. Or if you don't mind spoilers at all, this is where they're going to be happening. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. Rent-A-Girlfriend, appropriately titled, is about a guy named Kazuya who basically can't get over his ex, and this is due to the fact that this is his first relationship ever. If you've ever been on that shit show of a train, then you know how difficult it can be to get over your first relationship, whether it be in high school, middle school, college, whatever age you're at, it's usually a hard hurdle to get over. So what does Kazuya do to ease his mind and get his mind off his past ex? He decides to download an online dating app. He figured, hey, I mean, if I'm around another girlfriend, even if it's a fake one, then at least I won't be able to think about my ex. True story, except it backfires on him, and the dating experience is so good that he winds up hating it. Kazuya ridicules the girl that he rents for the first time named Chizuru, aka his neighbor, aka a beautiful girl who he randomly stumbles upon through the app, and gives her her first 1-star rating after an actually pretty fair date. This is due to the fact that Kazuya felt that it wasn't fair and that these women are acting and doing, you know, something horrific when he himself is the one paying for the service and he knows what he signed up for. Chizuru points this out to Kazuya and he does indeed later feel bad for it and decides to rent her yet again in order to make up for it. During this time, Chizuru and Kazuya, the rental and the rentee, have their grandparents both in the same hospital residing. This is extremely important to the plot because it pretty much centers around the entire premise of the anime, which is why I'll only go over it once. The two grandparents figure out that Kazuya is with Chizuru and don't understand or even know that it is indeed a rental app. Chizuru doesn't want her grandmother to know that she's using a rental app for financial reasons and to help her with acting, and Kazuya doesn't want his grandmother to know because 1, it would be downright fucking embarrassing, and 2, his grandmother has taken an extreme liking to Chizuru. This pretty much is the entire premise of the plot of Rent-A-Girlfriend, of them playing tag with their grandparents and trying to keep the entire relationship hush-hush from their friends, family, and everyone else so the lie doesn't fall apart. That's the basic plot. As I said in the beginning of the video, me personally, I don't think it was really all that good and well executed. Season 1 was extremely fun, and it was the back and forth with Kazuya seeing his ex, going back over old feelings, while still having his Rent-A-Girlfriend around and trying to keep it hidden, while potentially still having a chance to wind up with his ex, or at least in his mind. And it really did create a difficult premise for the main character Kazuya, but the main problem with this plot is the fact that many times over while watching the anime, I thought to myself, despite the comedy and despite the back and forth and drama that actually kept me watching, Kazuya many times over could simply tell the truth to his grandparents or to his friends and or ex to simply stop the lie and get what he wanted in the end, which is an actual girlfriend. Now let me explain. That's pretty much the anime, but the reason why the anime isn't getting such good reviews from people who have watched it It's one, Kazuya's nature. Kazuya's a normal dude who literally spends most of his time indoors, a regular dude who's a virgin and has no life essentially outside of whacking one out, stalking females, and stalking his ex whereabouts and making things more difficult than they have to be, all while once things actually hit the fan, making people feel sorry for him so that they can then do things for him in turn. Whether Kazuya is doing it intentionally or not, he is a top tier manipulator. That's the biggest premise that I can see out of it. His comedy does live up, and in different times through the anime, he kind of reminds me of Kazuma if he were a super dork, but it's not enough to save his character and from me generally disliking the dude. The first 5 episodes I gave him a pass because I got it. You know, you break up with your ex, it's difficult to move on. You know, they got caught in a lie by accident. It wasn't exactly something that he wanted to do. But after a few times throughout the show, in the first season, when he had plenty of chances to reveal to his grandparents the truth in the right moment and or have other opportunities to pursue other women, he blatantly chooses to do the opposite, to cling on to Chizuru, something that would not allow him to be happy because she is indeed a rental. And as a rental, she has only made it clear that not only can she not date him, but really isn't interested in, you know, mixing up her personal life with work life. So it just doesn't work for him. It's like basic torture. I get and understand that Kazuya doesn't want to hurt his grandmother's feelings and he doesn't want to disappoint her as a man since he's never really had any success with women in general in his life. But he's not only putting his own manhood in jeopardy and self-pride, but he's also putting Chizuru's personal life in immense danger as well, potentially getting in the way of her future goals and her own social life at college due to the fact that he's keeping this charade up for his own selfish reasons. By episode 12, I found myself skipping around a bit, but the only person who did in fact keep me watching through this is the one and only Ruka. Ruka was basically rented by Kazuya's friend, who thought that since Chizuru and Kazuya were in a relationship, that he also had to get a woman of his own so that Kazuya couldn't one-up him. Kazuya finds this out, and rather Ruka finds out that Kazuya and Chizuru are both rent-a-girlfriends and threatens to tell everybody unless Kazuya goes out with her. I'm sure you guys are thinking to yourself, well, why the hell would Kazuya go out with her? She's cynical, mean, and literally threatening the man to go out with her by force unless she ruins his plan. At first, I was definitely 100% on Kazuya's side when it came to him denying Ruka any relationship rights at all. 1, she threatened him. I completely understand that. I wouldn't trust her either. 2, it was completely out the blue, not to mention that she was temporarily with Kazuya's friend through the rental dating app and it would make things awkward. And 3, he's still dealing with Chizuru, not to mention his old feelings with his ex, so it's kind of an all-going 3-way battle. But the fact of the matter is, it's a beautiful girl who is willing to, on her terms, quit the rental app, is extremely attractive by Kazuya's standards, and goes out of her way for most of the end of season 1 as well as all of season 2 to make Kazuya understand that she actually has genuine feelings for him. Throughout season 2, most of these are all solved in their own ways, and Kazuya still goes out of his way to ignore Ruka any feelings she has for him, and is seemingly going out of his way to make things more difficult in order to stay with Chizuru and keep the lie going. After a while, it definitely gets tiresome, and you will find yourself watching the anime screaming to the screen, Kazuya, you fucking fool, this is your opportunity to tell the truth, or Kazuya, you fucking fool, this is your chance to actually have a genuine girlfriend. I get it, with the current situation, you can't exactly just trust someone on their whim that they suddenly love you, or the fact that you might be the main character in an anime and the plot has seemingly made a woman fall in love with you for reasons that you quite don't understand yet. But you know what would have explained clearly why Ruka may love you, Kazuya? Asking. Something else he never does. Most of the time in the anime, he spends his time running away from problems, ducking things, and never finishing things that he starts, which leaves endless amounts of drama in situations that could easily be remedied if he just sat down, asked questions, got solutions, and called it a day. Rent-A-Girlfriend is definitely a funny anime when it wants to be, but outside of comedy and a little bit of storytelling, not to mention a little bit of character building, it really doesn't go that far. Season 2 definitely felt like a slouch back from Season 1, and again, because Season 2 feels kind of like a setback, and the premise of Kazuya trying to go out of his way to keep it a secret from his grandmother when he has plenty of other ways to not keep it a secret by actually revealing that he has a real girlfriend, even if he did lie, making his grandmother twice as proud. The fact that he could hold 2 women, one being stringed along, would probably make for a better story. But what do I know? I'm not a writer. I know this video has kind of seemed like a rant on Rent-A-Girlfriend. I promise it's not. The anime does have some good qualities. There are some nice design choices. The main character actually changes outfits, something that I like in anime when they aren't lazy and wearing the same thing over and over again. Underlining comedy, which I've mentioned a few times. Again, if it wasn't for the comedy, not to mention Ruka carrying this shit on her back, then I would have left and dropped the anime a long time ago. And there's a small sense of relatability through some of Kazuya's actions and Chizuru if you're a woman, and some of the other characters in which you can really just relate to in different ways if you apply them to your life. I once was in high school myself, and there's plenty of things that I could have changed if I went back in time, including things where I could have also sat down and asked questions. So on a relatable, humane level, I can kind of understand why Kazuya doesn't just do what the simple solution is, because as a human, we tend to picture things being a lot worse than they actually would be, which leads us to run away from things that would be easily solved. But all in all, I'll give this anime a solid C+ due to the fact that I actually managed to finish the anime. But if it wasn't for Ruka and the fact that I thought that Kazuya might actually go for Ruka, then I wouldn't have kept watching at all. And I hope Season 3, which is supposed to be releasing later this year to next year, will be a lot better than what we got now. Perhaps if I read the manga, I might have a better outlook on the anime and things might seem to collect and connect a lot better. But for right now, the anime is carried by Season 1 and falls off a bit on Season 2 in terms of comedy storytelling, as it's kind of repetitive in the aspect, again, that Kazuya is just trying to keep a secret that can easily be told through different various solutions provided to him. It's kind of like those various drama TV shows where you can find a solution, but there's always a loose end somewhere, so it prevents you from getting the immediate solution, so you have to kind of go out of your way to go get another solution because the solution you already have presents a problem. And now if you do and follow that solution, you see what I'm getting at, right? Rent-A-Girlfriend, C+, watch it. You might have more fun than I did, but overall, is it worth a watch? Season 1, absolutely. Season 2, you can skip. Thank you guys for watching. This has been my semi-Rent-A-Girlfriend rant review coverage. I don't know what to call this. I'm just getting back into videos. I'm just your friendly neighborhood anime reviewer. I'll see you guys later.